What you see is what you get. In this lesson, we're going to talk about how to build the ultimate profile. Everything we've talked about with identity, this is where it all comes together. This is the most important lesson of everything I'm going to teach you, because my entire system, everything about skipping the date, getting the girl, it's all about identity. It's all about projecting who you are, what you stand for, what makes you amazing. We already have that pre-selection just by being a member of the right sites. Now we want to take that to the next level and show why you're amazing. So take that pre-selection from an idea to a reality. This is the power of bond, the power of your identity, because you can project who you are and how you can give her what she wants, how you can be the man she's looking for. Remember attraction, the idea of a woman being attracted to a man that is just sales. It's all about presentation. Your profile, that's just a commercial for your personality. You don't have to change you. What you have to do is give a great pitch, and that's what we're going to cover in this lesson. Even with these 4 pictures, I'm showing 4 amazing different parts of my personality, and there's so much going on here. We're going to dig into it more and more later, but which picture catches the eye? The top right picture was taken with the most high-def camera of all these different pictures, right? One picture kind of shows me looking super cool in the bottom left-hand corner. Then you see me DJing in Japan in the bottom right. Then you see me with a monkey in Thailand, kind of showing my adventurous and travel side. And then you just see a really crisp, super clear high-def picture. I'm a lot more yellow in that picture. See how I'm so white in the other 3? But for some reason, this high picture where I just look super high-def gets really great responses. So each of our pictures kind of has a purpose. Now with your profiles, you can win together because you and all the girls you're interacting with can actually be honest in your profiles, what you're looking for, who you are. And that's what's so great. You know, with so many other websites, with all the normal traditional dating websites, all the crap out there, nobody ever reads your profile. My Match.com profile, are you kidding me? Girls don't read that. There's just so many profiles out there. They're so sifting. You get sifted before she's looked at your profile. You don't even get to say hello before she's already rejected you. It's a waste of time. But here, your profile is everything, and it all starts with the name. A badass profile name is crucial. Please do not pick a crappy name. I can't tell you how much of a difference this makes, but it's huge. It's like walking up to a girl and saying, "Hi, I'm Silver Fox 1947 is crap, okay? That's what so many guys do. They put together 2 words that are usually sexual and then add the year they were born or their favorite number. Please listen to me carefully because this is so important. If you fuck around with this part, you will get less girls, okay? If you want to pick a crappy name, even though I'm begging you not to, I can't stop you, but I can tell you that if you pick a crappy name and then you message me and say, hey, it's not working, and I look at your profile and you have a bad name, I'm going to go nuts. So listen to the system very carefully. You want to pick 2 or 3 words that pick your bond identity. Okay, 2 or 3 words that really represent you. And I'm going to go through a bunch of different profile names for me, but that's basically what you want. You know, it can be very hard to pick stuff that's already been taken on a lot of other sites, and maybe what your first choice is taken and you think, oh, I'll just put a number at the end. Don't do that. Do not put a number at the end. As soon as you take someone else's name and put a number at the end, you're saying to her, I am not special. I am not unique. There's another guy out there that's the same as me and he was there first. That's the message you send by putting a number at the end of your profile, okay? So I've been through so many different profile names and tested a lot of things. What works really, really well is think about your identity. Think about the best thing about your personality. So my real passion is writing books. In fact, this is the first time I've created any type of training or course that I didn't write the book first. I just wrote the outlines and made the slides and then shot these videos because it's such a visual presentation. But normally, everything I do, I write a book first. For all my different dating books, it's my passion. It's how I self-identify. So I want to use the word author. Most people do not say when they're an author, so it's actually pretty rare. It's pretty cool. I've only ever met like 2 or 3 other authors in my life. So it's kind of a special thing. And I wanted something better. You know, if I was like author 1980, so that's just profession slash birth year, which a lot of people do, that's crap, okay? So I've been through a couple of choices. What I do actually right now, and you'll see it in a few seconds, is the last author is actually what I made my profile name. And everyone goes, why are you the last author? So it kind of creates intrigue. And I was just messing around because before that, I did the rebel author or rebel author. I'm not even sure why I switched from rebel author to the last author. They both were killing it. And the rebel author I was watching this TV show years ago, like 10 years ago. It was one of the early reality shows because they did the one with Donald Trump where people got to be, I don't know, his assistant or whatever. And then they did one with Richard Branson. And they kept calling him the rebel billionaire. I don't know why he's a rebel billionaire, but I was like, that's such a catchy thing. So I said the rebel author. But right now I go with the last author on one of the sites, on Plenty of Fish actually. My profile name is Most Interesting Man in the World. I got that from that commercial and I just snapped it up. But that's such a long name. You can't put it on most sites and it's kind of ridiculous. If you need help, you know, we can definitely try and help you out with picking a name. But this is something, even if it takes you like a week or 2 hours or whatever, it makes such a difference. Like people don't think about it, but it's the first thing she looks at when she sees a message from you. It says message from and name. And if the name is bad, she won't read the message. You can shoot yourself in the foot and destroy the rest of my system with a bad name. So anything you do, like, you know, if you're an architect, you can just put unknown architect, right? And she's going to be like, why are you unknown? And that's what's cool about that is the idea of intrigue is a type of attraction because it's mysterious. It makes her want to ask a question. That's what I do with the last author. That's kind of the idea there, or the rebel author. All those create intrigue. And author is a word that has a lot of positive and interesting connotations because it's very rare to meet professional authors these days, you know? I'm an author and I never meet any. I've never even met an agent either. I almost met an agent once and it didn't work out. Total dick. Blow off our meeting, right? And since then, I've sold a lot of books. Like, self-publishing turns out to be the best thing I ever did. So that's been my experience as an author. I have no interest in meeting other authors. I have some favorite authors. My other favorite authors self-published as well. And whatever you do, you want to make it cool. Like, I could ruin that name by calling it, like, sci-fi author. So then it's not as intriguing anymore, right? Because then you're just saying, I write sci-fi books. You don't want to go that far. So whatever you do, maybe even... And I've just kind of been thinking about this today. It's what I do. Maybe just pick like an intrigue word and your profession or what your favorite thing to do is, you know? So let's say you love playing soccer. And I'm thinking of this right now. So this is totally real. And you could just go the last soccer player or soccer secret would be interesting. Or no more soccer, anything like that, right? Like it's a little unexpected. No more soccer, actually, I think is probably my favorite because people are like, why do you hate soccer? And if your picture was of you playing soccer, that would kill. That would do so well because it's such a scotoma. It's such a going, why is he saying no more soccer if he's playing soccer? And they want the answer to that question. Why is his name this? If you can make your name into that type of question, that draws girls in with intrigue, which is really powerful. So you either want like an identity that's really attractive, you know, and you don't want to be super obvious or anything that's like, don't put anything like I'm a master of fucking, okay? A lot of guys do that, like box stretcher, 123, or, you know, pussy licker. I see those names. I can't believe that they're real. Those never work, okay? Don't make your identity creep, please. Just make your identity focus on being interesting, being intriguing, and being attractive. With your photos, here's a huge mistake, and I could harp on this. You know, I've got a 20-page manual I wrote just about how to take photos. You have to use a good camera. If you use a shitty camera, you will get shitty girls. Now we're in the realm of pure facts. There's a ton of studies I've read about this. You can really, literally look at how a girl rates you on a scale of 1 to 10, and if, let's say you're a 10, as the quality of the camera goes down, so does how a girl rates you. So every step you take down from a good camera, that lowers how attractive you are. It doesn't matter what you look like. It doesn't actually matter your baseline attractiveness. That's irrelevant. I'm talking your online attractiveness. So you have to use an SLR camera, and that's a fancy word. I had to look it up because, you know, I don't know what SLR stands for, but I know it means a camera where you can change the lenses. That's the difference. That's the step up. So the camera I use, okay, is in the study. It's the one that has the highest results. I'll post a link to it on Amazon below this video. I can't even remember the name. It's yeah, I can't believe I can't remember the name. It's upstairs in my apartment somewhere, but it was only $600, okay? The best, so it's not like you need a $5,000 camera, and you don't need to buy this $600 camera. I'm just saying this is the quality, and I'll post a link just so you can see the exact camera that I use that's been really, really effective, and that all those really good photos were taken with. And I bought that camera because I read a bunch of studies about the quality of pictures. So you don't have to go out and buy a camera. Just find someone who has one of these cameras. Everyone in their social circle has a photo like enthusiast in their social circle. I know probably 20 people that have really high-end cameras. And if you can't find anyone, you can post an ad on Craigslist and someone will come take your photos for an hour for like 20 bucks or 100 bucks or whatever. So there's a ton of ways to do it, but it's really going to make a difference. Again, this is another area where, and these things seem so simple to me, but screwing around with your profile name and screwing around with your pictures are exactly what will knock out 80% of the guys. If you have good photos and a good profile name, you're in the top 20%. Doesn't matter what you look like. You could be bald, one arm, one eye, on fire in the picture. Doesn't matter. Or whatever else you can think of, whatever your ailment is. You know, I'm fat. And it doesn't matter. If you have a good picture, you'll do better than a better looking guy with a shitty picture. Don't use your crappy Facebook photos. This is another thing guys do. Girls do this even more than guys, but I don't want to see group photos, photos of you in a costume. One of my friends who I've been helping with his online profile, I said, look, your photos are crap. That's why we're not getting good results. And he sent me a really high quality picture of him dressed up in full drag as Boy George. That will not get you anything. If he's lucky, girls will think it's a costume. If he's unlucky, they'll just assume he's gay. Either way, they'll move on. Don't take a picture of your animal or you with an animal. That sends a very clear message. Don't take a picture of your car. Don't take a picture of anything lame. Just, it should be a picture of you, ideally outside, so it's sunlight. Take the picture in the first 2 hours after dawn or the last 2 hours before the sun sets. Those are the 2 hours of the day when you're the most attractive. Take pictures specifically for your profile. Don't take a picture of you with a woman in it. Don't take a picture of you with another man in it. It should be a picture of just you. If you want to mix in some adventure pictures, like it's a really big part of your life, that's fine. But do not take a picture with anyone else in it or anything in it. You should be the star of the photo. I could go on and on for photos for days and days and days, but you saw my 4 photos. There's nothing else in them except for one has a monkey. Okay, and no one's going to look at that photo and go, I wonder if this is the monkey's dating profile. And I can tell you, I look at a lot more women's profiles than men's because I'm doing this all the time. I one time saw this profile, and this is the perfect example. This girl was really pretty, and her main photograph was a picture of 5 women standing in a row. And it was Victoria's Secret underwear model, Victoria's Secret underwear model, her, Victoria's Secret underwear model, Victoria's Secret underwear model. So I emailed her and go, man, there's an 80% chance this is a super high-end model, right? So excited. Guess what? It was the one girl who wasn't a Victoria's Secret supermodel. This girl was really cute, but compared to one of the most beautiful women in the world, she looked like garbage. She managed to find a way to make herself ugly. So as soon as she messaged me, goes, oh, I'm the one in the middle, I didn't reply. Now, if she had pictures of just her, I probably would have still been attracted to her. But that's the type of thing that people do. You know, tricky pictures in the mirror, all that stuff. We'll talk about that more later, the sneaky stuff girls do in our radar section on how to avoid getting tricked about who the girl looks like. But don't do that. The other thing that is worth doing is using Photoshop or Instagram to tweak the lighting and stuff in your photos. You're going to save hundreds of hours of work down the line by doing this. And I'm not talking about like the crazy stuff, like 7 hours on one photo. I'm talking like 1 hour per photo at most. And that's if you're as bad at Photoshop as I am. You can also just use Instagram. And if you just use Instagram and just keep going setting, and guessing until you think it looks like a great photo, that'll make a huge difference too. The reason Instagram is so popular is because it like has a button that you can push and says, make me more attractive. And that's what's awesome. So take the time, take a high quality photograph that just you're in, looking nice, okay? Put on a good outfit, shave, whatever, do your best look. I always have a beard, I never shave, so that's my look. But whatever it is, then, you know, take a bunch of photos, pick the best ones, use Photoshop. This seems like a lot of steps, but we're really designing something. My profile hasn't changed in over 3 years, okay? And I've literally had over 10,000 women that I would say are 9s or 10s email me. And obviously, I wish I had the kind of time and physical strength to sleep with all of them, but that's not where I'm at. But I do want you to know, once you do the profile, do it right once, and you're set for life. You don't have to do anything for years. You make a good profile following my system today, and you can ride that profile. I don't know if you can ride it for 10 years, but you might be able to if you kind of still look the same in 10 years. Otherwise, you will have to change the pictures in like 5 or 10 years. I don't know. I've been riding the same pictures for 4 years, and no one said anything. So these steps are really, really important. This is the most time-intensive part of my entire system, because once your profile is done, there's literally nothing else to do. It's so simple. So then we want to do split testing. Split testing is the idea of, here's a perfect example. You ever seen that like Pepsi test challenge where they get someone and they blindfold them, or they give them a can of Coke and a can of Pepsi. They have to guess which one's which, or which one they like the taste of more. And they always choose Pepsi, but then if you take away the blindfold, they can't tell which one's which or any of that stuff. So that's what we're doing here. We're testing. So you want to take your best photos and see which ones are better. I'm going to post a link below to this again, but it's okcupid.com/mybestface. This is basically the modern version of Hot or Not. I don't know if you remember Hot or Not. Like 15 years ago, it was a really great site. They made a few really big technical glitches and destroyed their business. But basically, on My Best Face, and this is what's so great about it, you can upload up to 10 photos of yourself. You do have to make an OkCupid profile, I think. I have one. I would never date someone off OkCupid. It's a ton of work to get someone really low quality, so I don't waste my time with the site itself. But here's what you do. You upload 10 photos and you say, tell me which ones people find the most attractive, okay? And then you have to go and rate like 150, 200 photos of women. And when you see the photos that women upload to OkCupid, the number of pictures that I've had to rate where it's a picture of a dog versus a picture of a horse, you know, women upload their animals I hope way more than guys do. I don't know. Or it's like a picture of a car next to a picture of a dog. I don't know which one's more attractive, but you have to rate. It'll take you a few minutes. Man, you can even get your assistant to do the rating for you if you have one. That's what I used to do all the time. I had my assistant do the rating because she loved that. And then what'll happen is you'll get your first set of results. And take these results seriously. Spend time looking through it. Let me see if I put another picture. Yeah, so here's what my results look like. You get results like this, and it'll say, this is your best face. And these are 2 of my pictures. And these pictures appear throughout my different online dating profiles. And it'll tell you, and you'll give you different results. You can submit the same 10 pictures 10 times, and you'll get 3 or 4 different results. And that's what you want, is to kind of get a spectrum. But the other thing it will tell you, it'll say, oh, women aged 35 and down like this picture the most. Women aged 40 and up like this picture. So you can actually see by demographic, because really, what's your target audience? Mine is 18 to 25. I will not date a girl over 25. Every time I date a girl over 25, I have a horrible experience. So what you want to do is, whatever your demographic is, look at what they respond to. And you can see like political affiliation, intelligence, all these other things, because OkCupid makes you answer all these site questions before you're allowed to email anyone. And we take advantage of their science. So what you do is you want to find which photos are your best, because the photo that you think is your best photo, I guarantee you, is not. Even me, when I pick a photo, I rarely pick the winner in advance. And do you want to pick a photo that you like or that girls like? Hopefully, you know it's option number 2. I would rather put up 10 photos that I hate, that hot women like, and makes them want to sleep with me. That should be your focus. So use My Best Face to get your winners. Do this quickly. It can take a few days to get a bunch of results. So you might have to, what I usually do is I'll run 4 or 5 tests at once, take the winners of the different tests and run them against each other, really look at the demographics, and you can kind of, after a while, get a gist for what a great picture of you is. So the picture on the right of me, as you can see, I dyed my hair a little bit. Oh God, a year and a half ago, I think this picture's from. And I'm actually sweating like crazy. This is on the beach in Thailand. It's 1,000 degrees, and I'm wearing like a tuxedo jacket under the shirt. I tested it, did really, really well. And this has been Instagrammed. We didn't use Photoshop. I can't remember the name of the program. It's like an online Photoshop Lite program, but you can do just as well with Instagram or anything else now and kind of get that type of look. Do you see how it just pops? The other picture was just taken with the camera, nothing, but it did really well anyways, because I've got a lot more going on as far as the shirt is really crisp and the tie and all these other things, and I wish I saw that jacket. It was awesome. But you can kind of see what types of things are winners, and you'll see if you just take 9 iPhone pictures and 1 high-quality camera picture will win almost every time, because unless it's a terrible, terrible photo. So really focus on that. Do the testing. Okay, this step is important. Again, you can screw around on the step, and if you kind of follow the last step, you'll do okay. But if you actually take the time to do My Best Face, it will improve your results. And I recommend, every time you're thinking about bringing in a new picture, just test it. It's one of the best resources. So here's my real profile. This is me on Seeking Arrangement, one of my favorite sites. This is the site I use the most because it just has so many members. It's got a huge thing. This is my real profile. Like I told you, look, see, it says last author, age 33, St. Petersburg. That's the last town I lived in Florida. You can see that I live in the Philippines now. It's where I've been living since I've been traveling full-time for almost 2 years now, but I never bothered changing my profile. If you say that you live in the Philippines, no one's going to message you, and I travel all the time anyways. I just happen to be in the Philippines this week. And then I put the tagline, do you want to be spoiled? I don't even know why I picked that, but no one ever reads the tagline itself on this site, but you just want to pick something that gets her attention. Do you want to date the best? Do you want an amazing life? Do you want your dreams to come true? I like to put a question there that kind of has intrigue, and you can see it says I joined April 2nd, 2013. Is that right? That's not even true. This is my, this is my second profile. I forgot. So I was dating a girl and I took down my profile for a while, and when I tried to rejoin, it wouldn't let me rejoin with the same email address. That's why I changed from Rebel Author to Last Author too. I think. Maybe I kept the same username. I can't remember, but I do know that's why it says 2013, because I've been using the site for a lot longer than that. So, but this gives you the idea. I joined the site, man, I think 2011 or 2012, but way before this. But I left the site, came back, that's why it says that. But I've been doing this a long time with the same profile. I saved my profile and just copy-pasted it to my new thing. But this is a basic idea, right? Nothing special. If you look at that photo, I'm not that good-looking a guy, okay? I look kind of fat. I personally don't think I really like that photo. I look kind of fat, I'm in the corner or whatever, but this profile gets read probably more than any other profile on the site. I get a lot of views. Here's the 3 pictures that I'm using. As you can see, it's one of the My Best Face winners is the one in the middle. The other 2 are just 2 random pictures. I tested a bunch. I tested a bunch, and I got pretty good results. And I just think I looked really skinny in the picture on the right. But again, you're not seeing anything amazing, are you? It's not life-changing. If you're looking at these photos thinking, wow, this guy's really good looking, first of all, thank you. That's really sweet. But you are insane. Nobody ever walks up to me and says, wow, you're really good looking. I know that. It's my personality carries the day, and I have no problems with that because my personality is worth way more than looks. Here's my description, okay? This section is really boring. There's no reason to lie here. Well, my height might be 5'9". My height's 177 centimeters. I'm never sure if I should round up to 5'10" or I'm 5'9", whatever. Body type average. I think I'm average, especially for an American. I'm probably skinny, but I'm definitely fat. White, Caucasian, dark brown hair, blue eyes. I'm interested in women. I have a graduate degree, which is true. I have a master's with honor in applied linguistics, so I'm actually smart, I guess. Occupation, author. See, that's the only time I put in something cool. Single. Children, prefer not to say. Smoking, non-smoker. Drinking, social drinker. If you do smoke, put something like social smoker or whatever. I always don't smoke on first dates. I quit smoking a few months ago anyways, and then lifestyle budget, whatever. I don't put a real answer there. Always put negotiable. Different sites make you put different things, because this is kind of a sugar dating site, so they kind of have some of those things in there, but it's almost irrelevant because such a small percentage of the girls are even in that mindset. So then your description is really your sales copy, and I want you to learn from the best and show you how I came up with my sales copy, and then we're going to go through it. But the first idea and the first concept, I'm telling you this is so badass, is you want to study escorts. Okay? The idea of my profile, the idea of bonding, and the idea of being a James Bond or Jonathan Bond like me is that you want to give a girl her fantasy, right? Create her fantasy, make it a reality. And that's what escorts do. Now, it's really specific, the type of how you find it. You want an escort that's an independent escort. So you want an escort that has a one escort website, And I'll show you one I found yesterday. I just found one yesterday. It took me 1 minute, and I put it into these slides. So I'm going to show it to you in a second. But you want to find not a company that has like 20 escorts or 3 escorts or 2 escorts. It has to be one girl, one escort, because the copy on these sites is way, way better because that girl knows how to write what people want. And all I do is I take that and I flip the genders. And when you see my profile, you'll see that's exactly what I did. I actually used content from 3 escort sites that I found 4 years ago. I don't even know if the sites are still there, but the copy was so good. The second thing you want to do is I want you to imagine if you paid me to write your profile. And that is an option. We do have that service, but imagine what I would write about you, how I would make you sound amazing. It's really hard for me to write about me. If I sat down with a blank piece of paper and said, why is Jonathan amazing? And I would pick all these random things, I have all these favorite qualities of myself, but then it's very hard to climb up that ladder, get external, and not feel like you're being pretentious. Because writing about how great you are can feel like that. It's very challenging. It's much easier to use a template and then add in stuff that kind of applies to you. You want to create a fantasy. Think about what women are attracted to. And I don't mean in men. What's the most popular book, women reading the last few years? 50 Shades of Grey, okay? I only read the first couple pages. I've read a few random pages in the book. I do have it on my Kindle. I just never read it. But the idea is that the most popular books, and this is what I learned. I looked on Amazon. Out of the top 50 most popular books right now, at least 45 are romance novels. Overall, women buy more romance novels than anyone buys anything else. So there's got to be something going on there, right? Because they're selling a fantasy, which is what we're doing in our profiles. So you could really use these. And I'm going to show you an example of how to do this as well with romance novels. It's my other techniques. So my two top techniques for building a profile are escort sites and the back of a romance novel, or you can find it in the description on Amazon. I'm going to show you both. Now, the other thing you should do is, before you kind of dig into those things, the other thing you can do is make a list of your best features, your skills and accomplishments, all the things from your life you've done well, that you're proud of, that are good. And you can take that list, and then as you're finding different descriptions from romance novels or from escort sites, you can say, hey, I want to include that. I want to include what art I love. I want to include all these different things. And that's kind of what I did. Like, I want to make sure that I have an escort who talks about traveling, because that's something important to me. So those are the kind of steps to doing the process. This is the funnest process because escort websites are hilarious. The copy in some of them is so good. It's amazing. And it's really a really quick process. So let me show you an example. I searched yesterday. I typed into Google, New York independent escort. And this was one of the first results. This was the first result that was a woman's site. It's probably caramiro.com, who knows. And let's read what she actually wrote, because her copy is amazing. This isn't what I use in my profile, so you could actually use this right here and create an amazing profile. What will be the first thing you notice about me when we meet? Will it be my exotic combination of Russian and Italianata good looks? Or maybe my big brown eyes and perfect porcelain skin? So we could tweak this, so we'd switch this, because now you're a guy and you would just mix together whatever your ethnicities are. I don't even know if Italianita is a word. I think she made that up. I'm pretty sure. But you can do that, and you're creating a story, right? You're painting a picture with your words, and you're creating a fantasy that you're drawing whoever reads it into. That's what's amazing. And, because most guys are tempted to rewrite this sentence as like, will it be my big muscles, my expensive sports car, or my huge dick? That's not what you want to write, okay? Take this copy and just tweak a little bit. Like, I would change it to, I would write something about my blue eyes. I wouldn't write big blue eyes. I'd write something like iceberg blue eyes. I always say that my eyes are the color of two chips off an iceberg. I read that in a book once, and I use it over and over again. And I get compliments about that sometimes. And then I wouldn't say perfect porcelain skin, but I might say deep 80s beard or something like that. That's a little bit funny, but still intriguing. And then it gets even better. What she writes next is, you've seen me before. Maybe it was at intermission at the Met with a glass of champagne in my hand. Maybe it was at the Philharmonic. So that line is perfect. You just want to change it to things that exist in your city. Okay, don't put the Met if you don't have a Metropolitan Opera in your town. But the rest of it's good, right? And if you don't have a Philharmonic, like maybe you need to say the Symphony or something like that. But think about what she's saying, right? The idea, and this could easily describe a guy. This could describe James Bond so easily. Think about the woman who, the first woman who sleeps in every movie and always dies. So that woman, right, she sees him, it's usually at a casino, but imagine, or she sees him at like the opera, right, with a glass of champagne in his hand. Maybe it was a Philharmonic. You notice the gentle movement of his head as he breathed with the ebb and flow of the music. See, it's so sexual. This is really good. You saw me, but it wasn't the right time to approach. Here, again, you can tweak it a little bit, because usually it's men who approach women. You saw me, but you wanted to talk to me, but it looked like I was too busy. Maybe it wasn't the right place. And then you could just say, if you're here on my profile right now, though, it is. Let's explore together. Life has been good to me. This is where you describe how great you are, right? A trained classical musician. She even reversed it. Most people say classically trained, but you could say a trained classical musician. I also have a proper East Coast education. My career allows me to stay in the arts, and you'll find me well-versed in all of them. Work in the arts can be monastic at times, though, and what I do here gives me a totally different experience. Now she's selling the fantasy, right? She's making it a little bit more sexual, but not too far, okay? She's actually saying my life is non-sexual. This is my chance to do something else. So she's actually going in the opposite direction to sell the story. I like the chase. I like seduction. I'm here to enjoy myself as much as you are. Let's start over dinner and take this deliciously slow. That ending, man, that's great. I hope you can feel this is so powerful. And 80% of this, you can just keep word for word. You only change the genders, and then you just want to tweak a few parts as far as talking about your career, talking about, if you're not a musician, obviously you need to do something else. But you could just easily say a high-level executive lawyer, and, my career allows me to travel the world and do everything I've always dreamed of, but working so hard can be monastic at times, right? And now you're taking it completely the opposite end of the spectrum, right? Lawyer career, or whatever you do, or I fix computers, and and whatever you do can be monastic at times, and reverse it. So this profile could apply to almost anyone out there. You just got to tweak it. And don't just use this one because other people, might, you don't want everyone to have the exact same profile, but just do a search, pick a random city in the world, London, New York, LA, Austin, whatever. Any independent escort usually has copy this good. Wait till you see my full profile in a second. Here's an Amazon example. I did a search again a couple of days ago and I looked, this is the most popular romance novel right now, and it's called Alpha Billionaire, which I thought, first of all, that's a ridiculous book name, but apparently it does really well. And we want to let me break this down for you because this one isn't perfect, but I wanted to show you the first one I saw so you can kind of see an example. Alpha Billionaire is a sexy, thrilling, and jaw-dropping 3-part novella serial. Obviously, don't use that part. But the beginning is so good. It was only meant to be one night. Evie Johnson was doing her best friend a favor when she agreed to work a bachelor party as a dancer. So here, we want to tweak it, say it was only meant to be one night. And then you want to change the first line to be like something. She decided to meet a man off an online dating site just to have a little bit of adventure in her life. She hadn't expected to meet a great man like the last author, a man so handsome and cocky that she couldn't help but be attracted to him when he asked for a dance. And when he asked her for a private dance, she didn't want to say yes, but she couldn't stop herself. Before she knew it, she was being whisked off to his private mansion and entering his home for one night of passion. Only she had no idea what she was getting herself into. The last author was not the man he'd appeared to be at the club. He wanted more from her than one night of passion. He was a man with secrets so deep and dark that she was unsure just what she was going to do. So do you see how it's got so much intrigue? I mean, again, I would probably tweak the ending because it's a little bit too dark. But all I did was take the girl's name, change it with she, take out the part about her being a stripper because that's, again, a little bit too far. So you can see, and then you can take the ending and say he wanted more from her than one night of passion, right? And you can even end ... That's a super short profile that will get you a lot of messages because it's so interesting. People want to know how the story ends. Girls can put themselves into the story. And one of the things you can test is putting she or you. Depending on the description you use, you want to do third person or second person. Third person is where you say she and her, and second person is where you say you. So when she's reading it, she feels like she's in the story. That's what you want her to do. And that's how you can build intrigue. And again, this is more easy, if you're, have a work computer only, you don't want to be searching escort sites. Obviously, that's why I have this alternate option. And Amazon has literally thousands and thousands of amazing books. And you can actually, what's really great is you could search for your career or your hobby. Sports romantic stuff is really popular. Whatever your sport is, darts, baseball, hockey, there's tons of books on it. So you can find a story that kind of relates to you already. So whatever you would describe yourself, you can find a romance novel where the character is a romanticized version of you. I'm sure there's ones for librarians and computer techs and whatever else, whatever else your life is about. So those are really powerful. Let me take you through my description. My description is longer than most books, okay? This is going to be 6 sections. And this is because I used every single character they would let me. My profile is super long, and I was like, man, I loved every line of it, so I didn't want to cut anything out. All of this came from escort profiles, okay? This is my original one. This profile hasn't changed in years. It at least hasn't changed since April of 2013, but I think it's word for word what I was using before. Because I have this saved in a Word document. So let's read through it, and I'm going to take you through and talk about why each part is so powerful. I'm a sensual man with a sweet and generous nature. Already, I'm starting off with intrigue, right? By saying I'm sensual instead of sexual. It's the same meaning, but it's like less harsh. Sweet and generous nature. She's looking for a guy. Everyone wants to be with a guy who's sweet, and she can interpret generous. However, wherever girls are at the spectrum, whether she wants me to take her out to dinner or she wants me to buy her a car or whatever her mindset is, she'll read into generous the way she wants, and that's what's great. I'm letting her create her fantasy. I wanted a profile that's catch-all, that every girl responds to, and then I make my decisions. I'm often told I have a nice smile and an infectious laugh. I'm blessed with a free spirit and a curious mind. I'm dynamic, all-American, and have iceberg blue eyes and luxurious dark brown hair. See? Iceberg blue eyes. That one I changed because she had brown eyes, I think, in this profile too. And see there? I would never think to write it, but it's such a good description. I'm not saying I'm good-looking. All I've said is I have a nice smile and I'm good at laughing, and I have blue eyes. And I do think my hair is luxurious, but none of these are like over the top. They're just more descriptive. I'm painting a picture that she can see herself. Any woman can say, oh, I can see myself with this guy. My ideal date is having dinner or drinks full of good conversation and laughter. Tell me a good story. I love to listen. I'm passionate about my job and my dreams. I'll take you on a journey where I'll spoil you like a queen, just the way you were supposed to be treated. I love meeting new and interesting people. I'm looking for a woman who enjoys the finest things in life just like me. See how, what girl wouldn't be drawn to this? And I'd love to say that I'm a genius and I wrote this from scratch, but that's not true. This all came from an escort profile that I read that was amazing, or 3, but this section's all from 1, right? So that's all we're doing. We're creating a fantasy, creating a story that someone reading my profile can see themselves wanting to be a part of. And also, we want to give them things to respond to. So first I create the intrigue. Then here's the second part, okay? I'm always changing these things, and what you want to do is provide hooks. So let me tell you what a hook is. A hook is where you give someone something to talk about. Like if I said to you, hey, I went to the mall yesterday with my sister to get my iPad fixed. You can talk about the mall, my sister, or iPads, or getting iPads fixed. Those are kind of the 4 hooks. So a hook is what you can reply and talk to me about. The biggest mistake people make, and again, women, I think women do this more than men, make this mistake, but it's pretty common for both, is that you have a profile that sucks and it's boring. When you ever looked at a girl and she's really attractive and you read her profile and there's nothing to message her about, she hasn't said anything interesting, all you really know is that she's good looking, and then she complains that she doesn't get good messages, and the reason is because she provides no hook. She doesn't tell you anything. Like a lot of profiles are all cliches, like dance like no one's watching, laugh like, what is it, like laugh like no one's watching, or laugh like everyone's watching, and dance like nobody can hear you in the rain, stuff like that. I forget all the cliches, but you know what I'm talking about, hopefully. Laugh like nobody's watching, maybe that's it, or I wish I could remember. But it's stuff like that, walks on the beach, dancing in the rain, all that stuff that people put in their profiles that's meaningless, that has no meaning. That's like my profile saying, I like words and air. What are you going to reply back to? Oh, I like air too. You're not providing anything, so we want to provide girls something to talk to us about. When I'm not at my home base in Los Angeles, I can be found gallivanting around the world, from Asia to Europe and back again. I visited over a dozen countries and speak Japanese. Along the way, I've climbed mountains in Japan, ziplined in Thailand, DJ'd at clubs in Wales, and explored the mysteries of Angkor Wat in Cambodia. Most people respond to the Angkor Wat part. I'll tell you that right now, looking at how many messages I've gotten based on this profile. I haven't thought about it in a long time because I just listed, again, so remember I told you list the coolest things you've ever done? I think these are the coolest things I've ever done. I'm not even sure if these are the best ones, because I've done a lot of awesome things, or things that I think are awesome. I've surfed one of the top 10 beaches in the world in the Philippines. Maybe that could be in my profile because I love surfing. I've snowboarded in Japan as well as mountain climbing. So all these different things, but this is what I love to do. And you don't have to be a crazy adventure guy or a travel guy. This is for someone who's me. This is me. I'm a travel guy and I'm a travel adventurer. I love doing those things. I was just wakeboarding yesterday. at a wakeboarding park where they had world championships for wakeboarding 2 years ago. So I'm not great at wakeboarding. I fell a lot, but I'm always loving adventure and trying to have those things. That's something I want to express. I like to be with someone who does those amazing things with me. I've become somewhat of an expert on culture. Again, I would never actually say that, but I read your profile and it drew me in. It's much easier to read someone else's and go, yeah, that's great, and reuse it. I love adventure and exploring our beautiful planet in unusual ways. Won't you join me on my next adventure? And here I list things that I want to do. These are, so you can put anything. One of my friends did Machu Picchu. I didn't look up how to spell it. I thought it was Manchu, but it's Machu Picchu in South America. And one of my friends actually did it and said it was an amazing climb. He lived in Peru for a summer. And and then I read a book about a guy who went and saw the Northern Lights in Finland. I thought it was amazing. So these are 2 things that I'd love to do. And if I was with the right person and we could do it, I would do these in a second. These are 2 things on my list. Other things on my list is Angel Falls in Venezuela. But I decided not to put something about Venezuela because a lot of people have a negative opinion because of all the political stuff and how they hate Americans or whatever. But, still, it's the biggest waterfall in the world, and I'm a big waterfall guy. Whether you're stuck in a routine or looking to add more spice to your life, I will come to your rescue. That's a great line. God, that's so good. So brilliant, because basically it says, let me make your life better. Whether your life is boring or you just have a great life and you want to make it even better. I'm looking to select a woman based on her personality, beauty, elegance, and intelligence. Now I'm saying I'm a selector. This is where I say I choose. I'm in control, and that's my perspective. If you're a woman of substance, please continue to read about me and my desires. So now I'm saying if you're not a woman of substance, aka if your personality is crap, move on. I'm not interested. So you need to kind of have some standards, and I'm establishing them here. And pretty much anyone who I'm going to be attracted to on any level will respond to this. Now, not every woman reads my whole profile. Lots of women don't get this far. But you want to have something in there so people that are elegant, and she goes, I am a woman of substance, and it makes her feel like I've started to select her, like she's my type. If I just say, I want to fuck every woman in the world with a vagina, and everyone goes, I have a vagina, she doesn't feel special. She doesn't feel selected. So you want to create gates that make her feel like she's been chosen. The next line, like a true Scorpio, I consider myself to be a diehard romantic who loves good food, affection, and romance, and has a fondness for all pleasures of the senses. Whatever your sign is, put your sign in there, because it definitely wasn't originally Scorpio when I found it in the girl's profile. I don't know if Scorpios are supposed to be diehard romantics. I do get a significant number of women who message me that say that they're Scorpios too, and then they tell me how Scorpios are super horny and things like that. So all I know about Scorpios is that girls that are Scorpios message me and tell me that Scorpios are super horny. So that's, but I didn't put that, right? But this is what I found. Again, I just found a great line and I just tweaked it. All I changed was to make it my sign. So let's keep going. Girls respond to this a lot too. As a self-confessed foodie, which I don't know that I would ever say that, but I do like good food. And again, I tweaked it to, the countries, but otherwise I kept it the same. I'm always seeking to test my taste buds, whether it's a food stall in Malaysia or a fine dining establishment in London. Travel is one thing I enjoy immensely. Exploring different cultures and experiences has helped me gain perspectives from people in all walks of life. If you don't have a passion for travel, then our whirlwind romance will die before it's even had a chance to begin. This is my second screening gate, okay? If you don't like travel, it's not going to work out. This is really powerful. Because first of all, I hate dating women who hate travel. One of the reasons I really got into more and more of these sites, I was living in Florida a few years ago, and every girl I would meet would have an awful job. I'd meet all these girls that are like 22, 23, and they're working in bookstores or like working in like a pharmacy, but they're not pharmacists. It's like just working like in Boots or a chemist, and you're just like a register girl. And then I'd be like, hey, let's go on a trip. And they'd be like, I don't have a passport. They would tell me they love travel, but they were liars. So I wanted to screen that out because I've discovered that 90% of women will tell you, if you say, do you like travel? Yes. And if you say, can we go on a trip this weekend? They will go, no, I don't have a passport. I've never been on an airplane. So they don't like travel. They like saying they like travel. So I want to screen that out. Now here, I'll get a lot of messages from women who will say, I can't travel, but here's why you should like me. So it's interesting. So when people hit this wall, they don't give up. They try and justify why I should let them in anyways. But women who do love travel respond really, really hard to it. Next, I want to be, again, I'm painting a picture, right? This is so sensual. I love things in life that appeal simultaneously to my senses, my imagination, and to my intellect. And my choices and artists reflect this. I enjoy Picasso and Escher. Their artistic styles remind us that the world is not always what it seems, and that perception is far more important than reality. Here, I'm doing a couple of things. Number one, God, every girl messaged me and says she likes Dali. I've been to both of the big Dali museums. I hate Dali. I hate his paintings. I hate his style. I hate the story. I've been through all of it. If you're a Dali fan, I don't care. I'm really sorry. I totally disagree. I really like Picasso. I like a lot of his stuff. Everything by Escher I like. All of it's good. So I put in two artists I like. And I do hate when girls tell me they like Dali. That drives me insane. Because I'm probably the most experienced person who doesn't like Dali. I went to the museum in London and the one in Florida. They both drove me insane. If I could get that 10 hours of my life back, I would. But then what I'm doing next, okay, when I say the artistic styles remind us that the world is not always what it seems and that perception is far more important than reality, I'm saying that looks don't matter. It's a little subtle, okay? And again, this is just a escort profile I tweaked. But that's what the kind of subtext here is, okay? And I want you to see that. Having a line like this is how I kind of say, you know, depth of character is more important than pure looks. There's a lot of ways you can say it, right? And then I go, experience is the most important aspect of life, and it's important not to forget to live life while we are caught up in the mundane. Here's what I'm saying. I have experience because I'm older than you and you don't. Therefore, I'm great. Don't miss your chance to be a part of my greatness. Now, it's not a hard push there. I'm just kind of giving you the subtext the way someone who could read it who's being really analytical. But really what I'm saying is experience is amazing. You should have experiences. Don't forget to live life. Don't get caught up in your job. Don't get caught up in your day-to-day boringness. That's really the message here. But the deeper level, someone could read it and say, oh, this guy's got experience, and that is the most important life. I want to be near him. There's no better way to spend an afternoon or evening than by drinking wine in a dark jazz club and dancing the night away while we forget about the cares of our day and just enjoy being together. I might actually, if I was really wanted to put up my total personal personality, I would probably change this to something about the beach. I'm much more of a beach guy now. Like, I would rather spend my day kayaking, surfing, wakeboarding, or swimming, something like swimming in the ocean or whatever. But this is really romantic. And I do enjoy jazz clubs. There's just none where I live here. But basically, I'm just saying this is my idea of a great, amazing night. And you see how there's nothing in there about sex? You don't need to put sex in there because she'll fill in the blank. And we're halfway through my profile. Then, here we go, even deeper. There's no better way. Oh yeah, sorry, I copied that's the same line. I kept it going. Then, I love to laugh and enjoy the company of those who are easygoing and possess a good sense of humor. So I mentioned sense of humor and laughter again. If I was out of space, I'd probably remove this line because I've already said I have an infectious laugh. But we're just reminding her that she needs to have a sense of humor and she needs to be funny. So I'm saying, do you have a good personality? It's another gate. Let's laugh together, eat at the best restaurants, drink the best wine, and succumb to our natural desires. That's my first sexual comment. And it's not too far, is it? Let me make your pulse race, your palms sweat, understand you, admire you, and of course, romance you. Are you searching for handsome, sophisticated... I don't know if I'm handsome and sophisticated, but I thought this was really great. Are you searching for a handsome, sophisticated man who appreciates a woman of substance? So again, I'm saying the gate. I'm reminding her, are you a woman of substance? If you are, then message me. And here's where I push a hard gate, okay? We're trying to make it more and more selecting. And all I've really screened out is women who don't like travel and women with bad personalities and women who don't have a sense of humor and women who don't think they have any substance. 99% of women fit are still in the gate, but it feels like I'm screening out the bad. However, I am not for everyone, nor do I strive to be, and neither should you. So here I'm saying straight up, hey, look, I'm not trying to attract everyone. I only want what I want. I want the best, and this is what the best is to me, and you should be the same way. That's really direct, and again, it's powerful. So let's keep going. We're getting close towards the close. My fun, playful, and charming personality is sure to captivate any woman that's looking for an amazing experience. You'll never want the evening to come to an end. Whether you need a man of a preferred class and breeding to accompany you to a formal black tie affair, or just a knowledgeable conversationalist for a quiet dinner, my stories are sure to bring a delighted smile to your face. See, I'm painting a picture again. She can imagine herself on this date. This is every girl's ideal date. That's every time I talk about different things, I want to paint a picture that she wants to be in. What girl doesn't want to be at a classy black tie affair with a classy guy from good breeding, whatever that means, right? Or a guy who could keep the conversation going. What's every girl's fear? It's the silence on a date, right? So I'm saying, hey, I know about a lot of crap and I can talk all the way through dinner. Obviously, I'm talking a little less fancy to you, but I'm a knowledgeable conversationalist. I can discuss many topics. I'm highly educated, all those kind of ideas. And then I'm saying I have stories that will make you smile. It'll be fun. And then I'm pushing intrigue, right? I keep putting in words to describe myself. I compliment myself a lot with words that people don't normally use and that I wouldn't use. I would not walk up to a guy and be like, if he was to describe yourself in 3 words, I wouldn't say sophisticated, elegant, and charming. But they're really great, powerful words because they're the fantasy, they're the bond. If you're intrigued by sophistication, elegance, and charm, then you've clicked onto the right profile. I'm rewarding her for visiting my profile, probably because she got a message from me. When we are together, you'll be able to let go and be yourself. Without judgment or question, join me in unwinding, letting go of your everyday stresses. Everyone wants to let go of their stress. Come share a pleasurable, memorable experience with a true gentleman. And now the close. Since I piqued your curiosity, are you ready to savor the company of a man who wants to cater to your every whim? Allow me to pamper you to no end. We could frolic behind closed doors, watch a play, attend a car show or sporting event, listen to jazz, take a walk on the beach, make a cameo at a wine tasting event, or anything else that arouses your interest. I just picked a bunch of random things that I think are romantic or women are interested in. And now the close. Nothing extraordinary comes in an ordinary way, and I truly feel it's worth the time and effort to find, even if it means going through great lengths. Going online to cross paths with a beautiful stranger is certainly beyond the norm, but by no means a great length. If you are this beautiful stranger, by all means, say hello. So the last thing I say is, if you're a beautiful stranger, if you're looking for greatness and romance and all the things I've talked about, say hello, message me. These are the types of women that I'm attracted to. These are the women that I message, talk to, date, and interact with and sleep with. So great packaging, that tells a story, doesn't it? This is what I'm looking for. And I want you to think about this. What type of woman are you looking for? I'm looking for really, really, really good looking. But in my actual profile, I just write, I'm looking for an amazing relationship with an amazing woman who knows what she wants. So I'm basically screening out people with no direction. And pretty much everyone replies, like, I don't think you need a really long about her section. I think it's a waste of time. But one sentence that basically says, I want someone who knows what they want. Or I would even put, the other variation I use sometimes is, I want someone who's comfortable with their sexuality and doesn't play games. So I'm basically saying, I don't want bullshit. So this has been a really long lesson, but it's super important. What you see is what you get. My profile is a reality, and that's exactly how you build a profile based on your identity that will draw and attract thousands of stunning, young, beautiful, high-quality women.